Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Court Martial Podcast. Introducing your host for this evening first. He is the host with the most from the West Coast, the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg. And his partner, he has colonized, energized, and revolutionized the podcasting wrestling world today. Your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty. And welcome once again to the most exhilarating show you have ever witnessed on YouTube, period. No ifs, ands, buts, semicolons, or any sort of semis, including the trucks. And even though this introduction is going off the rails because we're actually on a train, I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, here once again to give you the greatest smark for smark action you have ever seen in the form of the ultimate wrestling fantasy booking that we have Atlantic Coast Pro Wrestling and the National Wrestling League throwing it down together, Season 2, Episode 7. But I can't possibly do it alone, because by my side is the proprietor of the National Wrestling League, the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour. He is the Bay Area Brawler himself, the one and only Skylar Greenberg. How you doing, buddy?
When you were mentioning trains, I was trying to think, do I do a Diesel sound or a Braun Strowman sound? But either way, choo-choo.
Choo-choo. We just keep chugging along. Or you could do A Train, and you can get the shave your back chance. We could get those going. But I don't know if we want to get that weird this early into the podcast.
Well, Joshua's not here, so we can't afford to get that weird.
That's right. But if you want to hear that kind of weird, then please, by all means, subscribe to TAW Gaming. They just released the first episode of his fantasy booking, South Carolina Championship Grappling. It's honestly worth the listen. It goes places you wouldn't expect.
And that's the thing, is that I wasn't expecting much when Joshua joined. I was kind of like,
me either.
He's probably going to make it a joke or something. He actually took it seriously.
Knocked it out of the park.
And he surprised me.
Yeah, and he does have a mind for it. He really does. And I was honestly really impressed. So by all means, everybody check it out after you're done listening to this episode. And because this is a major event night for ACPW, we are going to start with NWL. But before we do, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you all for understanding the circumstances why we didn't post last week and earlier this week, because this is going to go up on either Friday or Saturday as of the time of recording. But thank you all for the understanding and the support. I do really appreciate that. Also, just for what's coming up with Skylar and myself on Monday night at 8 o'clock, we are going to have our live stream reactions. So after we have watched SummerSlam, we are going to react to SummerSlam. And that is what Skylar and I are going to do, just kind of basically have the conversation we normally have on the podcast, but live.
By the way, that show has 10 matches so far.
Yeah, so far. And let's hope that Peacock works, so we actually have completed work to tell you about. But if they don't, believe me, you will hear it from us.
Oh, you will. Oh, you will.
Without a doubt. We have Omega Elf at the ready, just in case. But in any case, let's get on with some real wrestling, shall we? In the most ironic sense of the phrase, the National Wrestling League. Skylar, the floor is yours.
I do want to stress that while it is the big week for ACPW, NWL does have a pay-per-view event. It is NWL Summer Showdown.
Woo! With
our world champion Roman Reigns versus Keith Lee as the main event.
That's kind of funny. If you're running Summer Showdown and I'm running the MidSummer Showdown out of Baton Rouge. But this is totally okay. Totally different thing. Not trademarked. We are all good to go. We have communicated this before this exact event right here.
We just couldn't use SummerSlam because that's a WWE trademark.
Right. Continue.
But you can use any other variation of Summer that we wanted to, and we decided, yeah, sure, why not?
It has a good ring to it.
It does. And we are coming from Los Angeles, California.
Nice.
In Southern California. We could have done Northern California because it's smoky right now.
Yeah. That's for the safety
please,
of everyone.
Put out your fires.
Yeah.
Now, before we begin, there is an update to the rankings.
Oh, let's hear them.
So originally, Jon Moxley had a dislocated elbow that has turned into a broken arm.
Oh, no.
So Jon Moxley is out of action for NWL.
What, did he keep wrestling on it?
He's out of the rankings, like...
Altogether. What rank was he? He was ranked like 3 or 4, right?
He was high up.
Yeah, he was up there.
So there's a big shift in the rankings, especially because Keith Lee was named the number 1 contender.
Yes, of course.
So number 2 is Drew McIntyre. Number 3, Kevin Owens. Number 4, Seth Rollins. Number 5, AJ Styles. Number 6, Sami Zayn. Our international champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, at number 7. Number 8, Pat McAfee. Number 9, Dominik Mysterio. And making his debut in the ranks, number 10, Powerhouse Will Hobbs.
Willie Hobbs, baby. Can't wait to see what he does.
Who has been undefeated on TV. And while he's not wrestling tonight, you may see him.
You just might. Let's hear what we've got in store for us today.
What do we have? We have 3 preliminary show matches to start. I'm not even going to go into them because they're not that important, but just know that the first match is Mandy Rose versus Rhea Ripley. It's not going to go long, is it?
No, absolutely not. Quick
Rhea
work.
Ripley destroys Mandy Rose. Couple minutes. Next one, R-Truth versus a new-look Otis Dozovic and Heath Slater. And Otis Dozovic destroys R-Truth.
Damn. You hate to see it. But I'm assuming this is him without the big old beard.
This is Otis Dozovic without the big old beard. Looking serious, angry, and mean.
That's how it's done. Now, did Heath shave his head as well for this?
No, he did not.
Aw, shame.
Heath Slater looks better with hair.
True.
But Otis got a new look, new attitude. He gets a win.
That's what matters.
Corner.
That's what matters.
Because I've been beating him the powder since I got him.
Yes, you have. But on purpose, in the name of making this.
And we're gonna go. Wait, hold on. I'm hearing something. There's something happening in the back. Okay, we're gonna get a camera to the backstage area because there's something going on.
Okay.
So camera switches. It goes to the backstage. It runs up to an area in the back, and we see Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair brawling with each other. It is a full-on brawl, and the referees and producers are trying to stop this. They finally separate the two. Bianca wants a piece of Charlotte, telling the referees to let her go. Charlotte comes in and hits a big boot on Bianca and stands over her while the referees and producers are trying to get her off. And finally, they separate the two women, but only after Charlotte has taken out Bianca Belair.
Wow. So, obviously, this feud far from over, as we suspected the last time around that we saw these two.
Because last month, Bianca Belair got a surprise roll of victory on Charlotte Flair.
That's right.
And Charlotte getting the return, if you will.
Yes, and we said that there was more coming between these two, and Charlotte does not take losing lightly.
No, she does not. So now we're going to get back to our third preliminary show matchup. A brand new tag team, Fandango and Tyler Breeze, the Fashion Police, versus the Usos.
Oh, no.
Usos win 5 minutes.
I bet they do. I bet they do. Yeah, that's about as much as I expected out of that.
Big hype for Fashion Police and destroyed.
I mean, it's the Usos. How are you supposed to fight that? I mean, they're part of the biggest angle on your show. You know, you can't have them lose to a team like Breezango. It just
Fashion Police.
Yeah, Fashion Police. Excuse me.
The Fashion Cops.
We're calling them the Fashion 90210. Although that's Beverly Hills, but
hey, that's still LA County.
Okay, all right. So okay, that counts then. That counts.
Yep. I don't know what that makes them baby faces or heels.
I'm not sure.
We're going to move on to the main show, and our first match on the main show is number 9 ranked Dominik Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh boy, this is interesting. I'm interested to see where this goes.
The match starts off with, obviously, Dominik said some incendiary things about Rey Mysterio last time. And Rey remembers it, so he starts the match off hot, showing that he can still hang with the youngster. Dominik eventually gets an eye poke, takes advantage. Rey makes his comeback. The finish for this match sees Rey hit Dominik Mysterio with the 619. He goes for the springboard splash. He goes for it, but Dominik gets out of the way. And Dominik gets frustrated by this, so he goes over to the ring corner and starts disassembling the turnbuckle, the top turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
The referee asks what the hell Dominik's doing, gets him off, and starts putting the turnbuckle back. So what ends up happening now is that while the referee is putting the turnbuckle back, is that Dominik Mysterio goes outside the ring and grabs a chair. He rolls back into the ring, and Rey is starting to get up after missing the splash, and Dominik is right behind him with the chair, and Dominik swings the chair and hits the ground, making an audible sound.
Oh, I know where he's going with this.
Dominik throws the chair at Rey and falls down. The referee turns around and sees a fallen Dominik Mysterio with Rey holding the chair in his hands and immediately calls for a DQ because he heard the sounds.
Oh, man. As soon as you started saying he slaps the chair and misses, I'm like, I know where you're going with this.
Dominik Mysterio wins by pulling an Eddie.
Yeah, that's about as logical and finished as you could make out of that, because you know this feud has got to end on a major event, so it wasn't going to happen here. But what a great way to still give Dominik a cheating win in this respect, and obviously that disqualification. These are the kinds of disqualifications that don't piss me off. When they make sense and they're logical and there's a reason they're extending the feud and there's when there's purpose behind these disqualifications, which we never get anymore when there actually are disqualifications.
There's a purpose to the disqualification, and it's Dominik pulling the old classic Eddie Guerrero heel thing, which he is the hero of Dominik Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Dominik wants to be like Eddie, so
it makes sense. He's been using the frog splash this whole time.
Exactly. So, he's been doing the shimmy and the shake. He comes out the Latino heat. He does everything. Anyways, we're going to move backstage, and we have an interview with Renee Young and her guest at this time, Piper Niven.
Okay.
So Renee Young, first off, welcomes Piper Niven to National Wrestling League and asks her about the feeling of getting a contract, and Piper Niven gives the typical, I'm so excited, it's been my dream promo.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. And then Renee Young asks, so what is it about you that makes you a challenge to the other women? And Piper Niven says, well, if you look at me, I'm not the usual stereotypical skinny girl. I'm a big girl. I got power. Ooh. And I'm going to muscle my way to the top past these other women.
I bet she will. I mean, given her ability, given her size, I could definitely see that happening.
And then she gets hit from behind with a chair. And Piper Niven goes down. Renee's in shock. The camera pans from Piper Niven on the ground to Becky Lynch.
Oh?
Who calmly goes over to the microphone and says, the man's back, baby.
What? Okay. Interesting. So, I don't know how to take this. I honestly did not expect Becky to come back as a heel. It's probably the best way for her to come back now that I'm thinking about it. But I definitely... What an interesting choice of opponent. Going after the biggest woman on your roster. It's the kind of ballsy move that Becky Lynch would do.
Go after the newest signing. Go after the fresh fish.
Fresh fish, the biggest fish.
The biggest fish.
Whose name isn't Flair, obviously, but...
And whose name isn't fucking Doudrop.
Yeah.
Fucking WWE.
Are they still doing that, by the way? I haven't been paying attention.
That.
Wow.
It's the literal dumbest... Actually, I shouldn't say it's the dumbest thing, because Alexa Bliss is possessed and has a doll.
Yeah. Yeah, we start thinking about the worst things in WWE, we're going to get real depressed real quick.
Right. But let's turn that frown upside down, because it's your boys, The New Day.
Oh, snap.
And get ready to feel the power as The New Day make their entrance for this matchup. And The New Day, they get into the ring and they start talking to the people in Los Angeles about your former NWL World. And they get attacked from behind by Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, and Pat McAfee.
What a surprise.
New Day. And they are not scheduled for a match. They're just here to put the lay down, the smackdown. And Pat McAfee quickly grabs the microphone. All you LA Yahoo, shut your fucking mouths.
Ooh.
I am tired of this bull crap. Listen here, Kurt Angle. You have no right. You have no right to make me, after having a grueling match with R-Truth, force me to wrestle against Shinsuke Nakamura. You cost me my championship. And I am an unhappy man. And when I'm an unhappy man, I will do everything to destroy you. And I'm going to do that. Look at these two men. Look at these behemoths. They are Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, your tag team champions. I am Pat McAfee. We are the single most dominant group in the National Wrestling League, and we're going to prove it. We are entering the Hart Foundation Cup. We are winning that tournament, and I will become your world champion. And when I become that world champion, I'm taking that title and smashing it across your bald face, Kurt Angle.
Damn. I feel like Pat McAfee needed a promo like this, because he needs to be upset, and you've got somebody who has a reason to be upset. I mean, it's great for what it's going for, but I don't know how Angle is going to respond to the physical threat, because there's always going to be that little bit of something in Curt that's just going to want to tear off that suit and pull the singlet down.
I mean, these are the guys who use cheap shots at his love life, at his family, at his physical ability.
Yeah, so, I mean, in all fairness, Curt definitely could come back and give an ass whooping. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, is Curt going to assemble a crew? Is Curt going to get a crew? We're going to see Kurt Angle in the Shield all over again, where he's wearing he looked like a turtle in the combat gear.
He looked like a cosplay Shield member.
God, that was so funny. That was so funny. I was like, good for you, Curt. Good for you. That was funny. That was his first match back, too.
So weird.
Yeah.
And it was a 5-on-3. That was the weird part.
Yeah.
With the other team being The Miz, The Bar, Kane, and Braun Strowman.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. And speaking of two of the people in that match, it is a tag team match, The Bar versus the Good Brothers.
Okay. What do we got?
I'm giving this a 10-minute match. I'm giving The Bar the victory.
Okay. Sounds fair to me.
The Bar need to get a win. They have to get it.
Yeah.
As much as I love the Good Brothers, they're kind of falter unless they're doing something with AJ.
Yeah, sadly, they don't really have much of an outward personality when they don't have somebody at the head. They're great henchmen. They're great henchmen. And and I mean that in the most endearing of ways. But as a tag team on their own, they're just
Right. So we're going to move on to a couple of promos. We're going to start with a Hart Foundation Cup promo. It is the Motor City Machine Guns.
All right.
And they're cutting promo in a backstage area, and they're talking about how their time has come. They're rested. They're ready. The Hart Foundation Cup is theirs. But they need a third man in order to compete. They need a man who brings something completely different from what they do. And they have just the man. It is the powerhouse Will Hobbs.
Oh, I love that combination. Hobbs and the Motor City Machine Guns. I dig it.
And then it shifts to Will Hobbs talking, and he talks about his upbringing, how he grew up poor in East Hayward here in the Bay Area. He talks about how his upbringing was rough, how he lost his brother when he was young, how he's been training all his life to do this, to provide for his family. But don't mess with him because he's an angry man. And then they show clips of him beating up jobbers who he's been beating on the TV shows. And Will Hobbs and the Motor City Machine Guns come back together and say they are a dark horse for the Hart Foundation Cup. But don't make no mistake, the dark horse is here to reign over.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. This is going to be a good group. I can't wait. So confirmed entrance right now, we have, I'm assuming the New Day is entered because they're a trio.
The Almighty Crew.
The Almighty Crew. And now Motor City
Machine
Guns and Will Hobbs. Okay, got it.
And then we get another promo for another Hart Foundation Cup team. And it is a cheesy green screen of a police station
Oh no.
with Fandango and Tyler Breeze in full cop gear, saying that this is our recruitment promo. Would you want to join the fashion police? Well, all you have to do is have style and make sure that you know what's right and what isn't right. And we have found a man who is stylish. He is R-Truth. And R-Truth shows up in a cop uniform too.
Oh no.
And it devolves into comedy. And they're saying, at the Hart Foundation Cup, the fashion police are on the case.
Oh god. Good luck, guys. I'm sure you'll win you'll win one?
Probably not. Anyways, we're going to go to a National Wrestling League International Championship match.
Okay.
It is number 7 Shinsuke Nakamura, the defending champion, versus number 6 Sami Zayn.
Okay.
And Sami has been trying to get this championship before. He tried his luck against Keith Lee. Now he's going to try his luck against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Well, let's see how he does.
And if you remember that match they had years ago in NXT, that was a banger.
Nakamura and Zayn? That match was killer. They
basically do the same match. I'm giving them 16 minutes. I give Nakamura the victory.
I think that's fair. I mean, not that Zayn necessarily needs the victory here. He's kind of in a good position. And it's more important that Nakamura gets this win, I think, and to keep this title reign going. He's going to need a couple wins against people like Sami.
Right, and now he moves up to number 6.
Okay.
And he's been building on a head of steam.
He sure has. He's been putting in work.
He's been putting in the work. And speaking of work, we're going to go to a workman match. Drew McIntyre versus Kevin Owens in a street fight.
Okay. This is
Because
going to be intense.
They had a match last month, and they could not be separated, and the referee called for a DQ. So we're just getting rid of the DQ. We're getting rid of the countout. These two are going to settle it in a street fight.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to go into street fights because street fights are street fights. They're kind of diamond.
Sure.
I'm giving this 15 minutes, and they're going to be bruised and battered and all that. The finish for this match sees a table set up, and Drew McIntyre is in the down position. Kevin Owens is going to go for the powerbomb through the table. He tries to go for it, but Drew gets out of there, gets off the ropes, and hits the Claymore kick. But he's so tired that he has to go back into the corner because he needs to rest up. And he's going to set up Kevin Owens for another Claymore kick and then pin him. And then out of nowhere, Sami Zayn with a haluva kick on Drew McIntyre.
Oh, no.
And Kevin Owens is up and like wondering what the hell's going on. But Sami's like, Kevin, come over. And Kevin agrees. So they pick up Drew McIntyre and they put him through the table. Kevin Owens with the cover. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. What foul play here. And Sami coming to help Kevin Owens. These two, will they ever not be around each other?
Not to mention, this is not the first time that Sami Zayn has tried to help Kevin Owens.
It's true. And this time Kevin Owens actually took it, as opposed to refusing.
So, now we're going to move to a couple more Hart Foundation Cup promos.
Okay.
We have the Club, or the Good Brothers, and AJ Styles.
Okie dokie then.
And AJ is saying how he's been waiting for opportunity to become champion, and everyone else has been dropping left and right, and this is his chance. Him and the Good Brothers have sat back long enough. They're waiting for their chance, and they're going to take it. The Hart Foundation Cup is theirs, and everyone's going to see why they call him the Phenomenal One.
I like it.
Oh, you're gonna love this next team even more. We have the second Hart Foundation Cup promo from this one. It is Cesaro and Sheamus, and they're talking about how they are big, bruising, tough men.
Oh boy!
Teammates was hard to find, but they figured that they need someone big and strong, so they got the Limitless One himself, Keith Lee.
Oh, okay.
And Keith Lee takes the microphone in this promo, that's backstage or whatever, and he says he's going to make National Wrestling League history. He's going to become the champion tonight, and then he's going to win the Hart Foundation Cup and be the only man in history to both be a National Wrestling League champion and Hart Foundation Cup winner at the same time. And you want to know why? Because he breaks limits. Because he is the limitless one.
He sure is. And before we continue, I don't mean to stop this whole thing, but I want to just do a very eensy-teensy news segment. Roll it. Coming straight to you from the Golden Gate Garage, this is the Wrestle News with Skylar Green. Okay, so I wanted to just bring this up because we're in the middle of talking about Keith Lee, and before we actually get to the main event, for those of you who have not watched, if it's still up, I'm not sure it is, Keith Lee did a 6-minute video kind of explaining why he has not been on television and explains the whole erratic behavior that's been going on and the rumors surrounding Keith Lee, and a lot of it has actually had to do with his health, and so he has just now worked back to how, getting back to wrestling, but he's taking it one step at a time, but it also makes a lot more sense and puts a lot more things in context with him. So best of luck to you, Keith Lee.
Truly, best of luck to you, Keith Lee. He's one of the nicest guys in wrestling, and he really didn't deserve what happened to him. It's just a difficult situation. Like, this was a guy who was going to win the U.S. title off of Bobby Lashley. Think about that for a second. It wasn't going to be Riddle. It was supposed to be Keith Lee.
Yeah. It's a shame, but when these things happen, there's some things that are just more important than wrestling, and obviously your health is one of them, and that's and the good thing is at least they're gonna try and understand. I think they're not just gonna axe Keith Lee because there's still so much potential in him. I don't see how Vince couldn't see anything in him.
Not to mention it would look so bad on them, but then what doesn't look bad? Well,
and my thing is this: if Keith Lee posted that on YouTube, guaranteed WWE allowed it. So I figured that's probably the best way to know where they feel needs to be discussed with Keith Lee, which is actually a really good thing because that tells me that they're not giving up on him. They just want him to be healthy for when that time comes.
True. Now, we move on to our co-main event. It is Toni Storm versus the newest challenger, Raquel Gonzalez.
Oh, boy.
This is tiny person versus big giant person story 101 booking. Now, I do want to say something very important before we begin this, okay?
Okay.
Raquel Gonzalez is a babyface.
Got it.
There's not any cheating. There's not any disrespect. These are just two athletic competitors going toe-to-toe. But Raquel Gonzalez at 6 feet dwarfs Toni Storm at 5'7".
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Got a couple inches up on her.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Raquel controls the match for most of it. Toni Storm finally does her comeback, and what a comeback it is. She grabs Raquel Gonzalez, hits a belly-to-belly suplex, then grabs her, hits a release suplex, then grabs her from behind and lifts her up and hits the German.
Oh, damn.
She goes for her Storm Zero powerbomb. Raquel blocks it. Then Raquel goes for her finisher, a choke slam alternate version, and Toni blocks it. They go into the roll-ups, and they kick out of each other's roll-ups. Finally, they're both on the ground, and the crowd is just eating it up. Raquel gets up, so does Toni. They're both in the corners. They charge at each other, and they hit each other with crossbodies and go down. And as they're both lying down, the referee is calling for the bell, or the count anyways. Here comes Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Oh.
And they are assaulting Toni Storm.
Oh, no.
And Toni Storm is assaulted. The match is over. It's disqualified.
Yeah,
it's not
of course.
going to continue. And Sasha Banks and Bayley are destroying Toni Storm. And Raquel uses her power and gets Sasha and Bayley off, and she's fighting them off. She's fighting off both Bayley and Sasha Banks. But here comes Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, and they both hit chop blocks on Raquel Gonzalez. And now these four women are assaulting the champion and her challenger.
Oh, no. You know what that means.
Now, hold on. Let me finish this beatdown. Bayley grabs Toni Storm, hits her Bayley the belly. Raquel Gonzalez is trying to get up, and Becky Lynch hits the Beck-sploder. Sasha Banks puts Toni Storm in the bank statement. Charlotte Flair puts Raquel Gonzalez in the figure 8. Referees and producers try and stop all this. They finally stop it, and as they're tending to the injured, Becky Lynch grabs the championship. She stands with her other horsewomen, and they all hold up 4 fingers.
They're back. Well, actually, they're debuting, actually, because they've never properly debuted on television before.
Right. Only
Wow.
Charlotte Flair has appeared for my TV, but the other 3 have arrived, and to my knowledge, they've never done a 4 horsewomen thing in WWE.
That's what I'm saying. We've never seen the 4 horsewomen proper in WWE. It's always been talked about, but it's never actually been used on television. So this is groundbreaking, Sky.
Right. And the attacks to lead up to the show with Charlotte and Bianca and Piper Niven and Becky, now they make sense, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do.
It's the horsewomen targeting the new blood, the fresh blood.
Absolutely. It's great. Honestly, this is fantastic.
But the only thing is, 4 horsewomen, 1 championship. And these women, they have egos, don't they?
That's right. So you never know when things are going to go south. Allegiances are fickle in the world of professional wrestling.
Right. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and go backstage. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are talking. And Sami Zayn is talking about how, Kevin, think about it. You and me, we can do great things. The Hart Foundation Cup is around the corner. Let's enter it like the old times and be a team like we used to be. And we can truly take over. And Kevin Owens, who is nursing himself with an ice pack and everything, is like, Sammy, in case you haven't forgot, 1, I don't like you. 2, we need 3 people for that tournament. And 3, no one likes us. So who are you going to get to be our partner? And Sammy's frustrated by this. And here comes someone who says, Ole muchachos. It is Dominik Mysterio.
Oh, boy. Oh,
I hear
geez.
you boys need a third man. Well, why don't you let me be your third man? Because after all, Mexicans and Canadians working together is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Oh, no. Oh, no. He did not just say that.
And Sammy and Kevin are looking dumbfounded, and Dominik continues, like,
Oh,
you know
my
what?
God.
I have an idea for our team name. KSD. Get it? Because your name, Kevin, starts with a K, Sammy starts with an S, and my name starts with a D. KSD. What do you think?
Oh, my God.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn walk off, and Donald's like, hey, get back here. I'm not done yet. And they go off screen.
No, you're done, Dominik. You're done. Jesus Christ. Wow. I don't even know where to begin with that. That's.
By the way,
where did Elfberg go? Where is Elfberg? I guess he's not here anymore.
Elfberg busy. Elfberg have life too.
By the way, when I said Mexicans and Canadians working together, I'm obviously homaging Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero.
Oh no, I got it. I got it. That's why I said that. I was like, oh no. That was wow. That's I don't know what to say to that. That Dominik is. I'm never gonna get mad at people getting heat, and that would definitely get heat.
Yes, it would. But now we have another team reveal for the Hart Foundation Cup.
Okay.
Apparently, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Dominik Mysterio is going to be a team, which is what a weird team.
God, this is gonna be something, man.
Yep. So, anyways, we're going to move on to the main event. It is Roman Reigns versus Keith Lee.
Oh boy, go time, baby, go time.
Now I'm giving this match 20 minutes. And they tear the house down, and they have the typical Haas match that you would expect with these 2 big boys. The finish for this match is Roman Reigns and Keith Lee are deadlocked with each other. Roman tries to go for a Superman punch, but Keith Lee hits the Spirit Bomb Power Bomb in midair. Cover, 1, 2, kick out by Roman.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be a crazy finish, but not on this day.
Not on this day, and Keith Lee cannot believe it. And Roman, if you actually look on his face, he's starting to bleed a little bit. So Keith Lee gets up, He tears the elbow pad off of his elbow and starts throwing elbows at Roman because he's so angry. And Roman finally pushes him off, but now it's not just bleeding, it's gushing.
Oh, no.
And Roman has to go to the corner. The referee immediately backs off Keith Lee, puts some gloves on him, and starts checking on Roman to make sure he's okay and trying to stop the bleeding. Keith Lee is in the corner waiting for Roman to get back up and get ready to fight again. And AJ Styles with a kick to the back of Keith Lee.
Oh, AJ, no.
This distracts Keith Lee ever so briefly as he looks back at AJ. And he didn't really feel the kick. And AJ's just holding his arms up ringside like, well, I didn't do anything. And Roman Reigns comes out and clotheslines Keith Lee, goes off the ropes, hits the Superman punch. Keith Lee is doozy. Roman finally goes off the ropes one more time, hits the spear, cover, 1, 2, 3.
Keith Lee is doozy. What
Keith
a shame.
Lee is doozy.
That
And was going to win if it was not for AJ Styles.
had the
And AJ
match won.
Had the match won. And AJ getting a little bit of payback after Keith Lee beat AJ clean last month.
That's right.
And Keith Lee is angry at this. He gets a couple of minutes to breathe and get back to normal. AJ's just at ringside laughing at him, and Keith Lee starts chasing AJ Styles as AJ starts turn, tuck, and run away. But Roman Reigns doesn't care. He just slicks his hair back, holds the championship up high, and that's the end of the show.
Pouring blood still.
Well, the blood is not.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad.
Bloody Roman Reigns with a championship.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Roman Reigns is winning these less and less and escaping these more and more. So it's only a matter of time before his luck is gonna run out.
Well, it may run out soon because Roman gets interrupted one more time by the playing of violins.
Oh?
And it is one Shinsuke Nakamura sauntering his way to the ring.
The international champion.
And Shinsuke Nakamura goes up to Roman. Roman looks at Shinsuke, and Roman is bemused by this. Shinsuke just simply does the come on. Roman doesn't even acknowledge it. Just holds the championship above his head. Shinsuke grabs the title off of his waist and holds his title up. And clearly we have a championship versus championship match coming up soon, don't we?
Is that going to be the main event of the Hart Foundation Cup?
It will be the co-main event.
Damn.
Because the Hart Foundation Cup Finals is the main event, always, for that show.
Is this going to be title versus title, or is this just going to be a non-title confrontation between your two top talent?
Well, we will have to find out to see. And shall I announce the brackets for the Hart Foundation Cup while we're at it?
Yes, please do. Let's hear it.
So we have 7 of the 8 teams announced. And here is the bracket as it reads.
Okay.
The Almighty Crew versus the New Day.
Got it.
The Club versus Keith Lee and the Bar.
Okay.
KSD, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Dominik Mysterio versus the Faction Police.
Gee, I wonder how that's going to go.
And the Motor City Machine Guns and Will Hobbs versus an yet-to-be-named 8th team.
Okay.
Because we've revealed 7 teams, but there's a mystery team still waiting.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
I can also confirm that Toni Storm will defend her women's championship against one of the Horsewomen. You don't know which one. You'll find out soon.
Sounds good.
And again, our co-main event, Roman Reigns versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Yet to be decided whether or not it's going to be title versus title, or if one championship's on the line, or if it's non-title. You'll find out.
Anyway, either way, that's a big fight. That's a big fight feel. And
so what do you think of my show, my man?
I really enjoy this. This whole show was very logical progression to the Hart Foundation Cup. You gave everybody a reason to be partners with each other, you know, for why everybody's teaming up, but you've kept the important titles still featured prominently on the show. I'm actually real excited for what next month's got to bring for NWL. Well done, sir.
My favorite angle, though, is the Horsewomen.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see where that's going. That's going to be interesting.
Because it's breaking territory, because no one's ever done, well, WWE's never done.
Yeah, and likely won't, ever. Likely won't at this point.
Can we get to a side tangent?
Absolutely.
It's disappointing that they never were able to do it with those four.
You know, they all had... I think none of them had the right charisma at the right time to do it. And I think that was part of the problem, is that
It was also one of those things where they never had a reason.
Right, you know, and honestly, I think they expected Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir to have progressed a little bit more than they did.
And for Ronda Rousey to not, bitch out.
Yeah. She took a loss and was never seen again. Wow, have we heard that before? This is not about Ronda Rousey. I'm not getting started on that. But at the same time, that was probably the closest we ever got, was when those three women with Shayna Baszler were also in the WWE at the same time.
Yeah,
and now there's no point.
They teased it at the Mae Young Classic the second time, and it just never came to be.
It's up to the people who care about the wrestling business so dedicated enough to do what we do.
Clearly.
And fantasy book this. And Sky, NWL is looking great. I'm excited to see where it leads.
Why, thank you. But while that big show for me is coming up in September, we have another big show, don't we?
Yes, we do. And Paul White is not going to just beat up a bunch of people for no reason. As a result, no choke slams, at least from him. Welcome to...
Oh, God.
Welcome to not the Summer Showdown, but the MidSummer Showdown. Out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. No relation whatsoever. And we thank you all for inviting us.
We should have had someone... Damn it, we should have Joshua name his show The Final Showdown.
Yeah, but then he would have to rip other music that he didn't own to actually put in front of it because he wouldn't be able to help himself.
But it's not the first time he's done that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But in any event, the MidSummer Showdown out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, this is a big old show. We have got 11 matches, and it's going to be big. Now, before we get started, I just want to just make a quick announcement. As mentioned when Arn Anderson spoke last time we saw it, there is going to be an 8-woman tournament to determine the first ACPW Women's Champion, and that match will take place at Winter Warfare in December. And these 8 participants, would you like to hear the brackets? Seeing how we're giving out brackets this week.
Apparently, so go ahead, give me the bracket.
All right, so the bracket is, and you will see 2 of these matches tonight. Camille versus Ashley Vox.
Sounds good.
Will take on the winner of Allison Kay and Alexa Bliss.
I don't know why, but that's a weird combination.
So we're going to see what happens there. And then on the other side of this tournament, we have Zelina Vega taking on Mickie James.
All right.
And the winner of that match will take on the winner of Britt Baker and Carmella. And so
Britt Baker and Carmella sounds like a really good tag team.
Those are, well, you're going to have to see how this all plays out. We've got 2 of those matches on the card tonight. I just thought I would post the bracket of this tournament so you are all abreast of the situation.
And steal another gimmick from me.
That's, well, you're going to laugh at how similarly we thought about this MidSummer Showdown that we've got going on here. But please bear with me, as there is a lot of paperwork, and I did a lot of writing this down. So we're starting with our first match, which is Beer Money. Robert Roode and James Storm versus the team of Orange Guava. Which is, of course, the incomparable Orange Cassidy and Sammy Guevara. This match goes 6 minutes, and it is the Eye of the Storm on Sammy Guevara, and Orange Cassidy was too lazy to get the tag.
Why does that sound so shocking? I don't understand.
That's all he does. He doesn't try. And now Sammy, but the only thing about this is, like, Sammy's starting to get a little bit annoyed at the fact that Orange Cassidy isn't doing anything. But
he should. As
he should. But you don't see much of that, because then we have JR in the ring with Beer Money right after this match, and they go, well, congratulations on your win. James Storm, Robert Roode, we saw you debut a couple of weeks back, and we never really got a chance to talk to you guys. Welcome, of course, to ACPW, and why is it that you chose here? And I'm not going to cut this promo. Beer Money's going to cut a promo about wanting the belts, about being one of the veteran tag teams of all time, one of the most unrecognized tag teams of all time, and yet still revered by so many. And so they're coming for those tag team championships, no matter who they have to go through, so that at the end, not only will they have the gold, they'll pop a beer, and they'll have money. They're the way they do it.
Because after we become champions, everybody's getting some beer money.
Just like that. Maybe. But the way that they would do it. I'm not gonna cut a Beer Money promo. They do too good a job at that themselves.
Fair enough.
We move on.
I barely was able to get past that Pat McAfee promo without laughing.
Yeah, hey, no, that was great though. That was fun promo. Now, we move on to Camille versus Ashley Vox.
I'm going to try and hold my feelings for this match aside because I'm still angry that you drafted Camille.
I understand, and you're going to hold those anger for this match.
Isn't she the NWA champion? Women's champion?
She currently is. That is correct.
Again, I'm still angry.
I'm sure you are. Well, this match goes 3 minutes. You thought you were angry now. This one doesn't last very long. It's a gut wrench power slam. 1, 2, 3. As Camille should be booked. Dominant. A goddess. An Amazon. A gladiator warrior.
Shut up.
Moving right along, we are now backstage with Tony Schiavone, who is with Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Britt Baker. And Tony Schiavone says, well, you guys have got a lot going on tonight. Britt, obviously, you have a match tonight. This is congratulations. And Cole, before Britt has a chance to answer, goes, I am so excited for her. She's been working so hard for this. You don't understand how much work this girl's been putting in. And I'm going to be right by her side when she competes tonight. And Roddy immediately goes, no, whoa, no, Cole. I'm not doing this. You're still distracted. I'm not positive what's going on with you, Cole. Here's the deal. Either you go out with her or you go out alone.
Ooh.
And Cole's like, Roddy, don't make me do that, man. Fine. You know what, Britt? I know you're going to kill it tonight. I'm going to stick with Roddy. I have to stick with Roddy. We got a match tonight. We got to face those Briscoes. They said some really egregious stuff about you and about us that we can't let stand. We're out to take care of business tonight, and Britt, I know you will too. And Britt goes, absolutely, I'm here to make the statement. Carmella, you better watch yourself, because as soon as I lock you in the lockjaw, I'm not the only doctor you're going to visit.
Oh, I hope I wasn't sounding cheesy when I was making my promos, because that was so cheese.
Yeah, hey, all the cheese. Wrestling is, in its essence, a little bit of cheese. You got to admit it.
I don't think it's a little cheese. I think it's a lot of cheese.
It's a lot of cheese. That's why they serve nachos at pretty much every wrestling event I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But, moving right along. So, a little bit of discord between Cole and Roddy, but Cole is saying, I'm going to focus, we'll be fine. So, the next match is FTR versus Outlaw Inc. This match, I give 15 minutes.
You're giving it 15 minutes?
I'm giving it 15 minutes because these two have had quite a history from back in the day, back from last year, when Outlaw Inc. were about to challenge FTR for the belts before, and actually were facing them in a non-title match when they got distracted by the Briscoes, of course, who cost them their shot. But they still have a lot of animosity between each other, of course, costing FTR their shot in the 10-man Battle Royal a couple weeks back. So these guys are going to go right at it, and they're going to have a hot start. This is going to be a pretty intense match. And these guys go in, and now by hot, I mean they're not going to do a collar and elbow tie-up. They're not going to jump from behind or anything like that. They're just like pretty much the second the bell rings, they're just going to go right at it. Because that's
Fair enough.
what Homicide and Eddie Kingston would do. They're like the two people that I'm like, okay, Hot Start makes sense with them pretty much every time they wrestle. Because they're about being that fighting, just on the street kind of fighter. So, anyway, here's the finish. Homicide gets a hot tag and he's doing his stuff in the ring, and then it kind of degenerates a little bit. Eddie Kingston is outside with Dax, and the referee is obviously watching Homicide and Cash, who are in the ring, doing a bit, but the camera's here focused on Kingston, who's outside with Dax, and he takes down Dax, and he walks around a little bit, and while the referee's distracted with what's going on in the ring, Corny hits Eddie Kingston in the back with the tennis racket, and Eddie Kingston kind of snaps up, and no-sells it, and then gets that slow turnaround, and Cornette realizes that he done fucked up. And he now starts to run around the ring and now Eddie Kingston obviously going to chase Cornette, and as Cornette passes by, Cash Wheeler sips out of the ring because he gets the advantage in the ring on Homicide, and as Eddie Kingston comes charging, Wheeler's there to deck him with a huge clothesline. And then Cash Wheeler gets back in the ring, but that's enough time for Homicide to get Cash up for the Gringo Killer. But as he goes to get that, he's stepping back towards the ropes, and Cornette grabs the foot of Homicide. And then Homicide, shakes him off. The referee goes to kind of avert Cornette. And as a result, Dax comes in from the backside. They hit the Goodnight Express. 1, 2, 3. FTR have won with a distraction and a little bit of wrestling technical acumen.
Damn dirty Cornette.
You hate to see it, but I wanted to do that spot where Cornette hits the racket, but the guy no-sells it, as he should.
Right, because at this point, how old is Jim Cornette?
Yeah, he's in his 60s, I have to imagine.
Yeah, so he's not exactly the young... Well, I was about to say strapping, but he wasn't ever built.
Well,
he
did wear suspenders, so you can say strapping young lad. I think that's still fair.
But to answer your question, by the way, he's 59. He turns 60 at September 17th.
Oh, so next month, as we celebrate the Hart Foundation Cup, we will also be celebrating Jim Cornette's birthday, I suppose. So, but in any case,
the King of Trios tournament, just how Jim Cornette would have wanted it.
That's I can't imagine a better way to say we love you, Jim Cornette, than a 6-man tag tournament. Oh God, Jim, we love you. But in any case, or at least I do. So
I love him too. He's the crazy old uncle that knows wrestling.
Exactly. And sometimes you got to just pass by what he says because he's the crazy uncle. But it's, in any case, a factor nonetheless in this match. So FTR gets the win. Outlaw Inc. It's not necessarily a clean loss. It's more of just shenanigans on FTR's part. Now we move on to our next match. It is Britt Baker versus Carmella.
Okay.
This match goes 6 minutes, and I'm not going to get into the details of the match, but Dr. Britt Baker is going to put in the lockjaw, and Carmella is going to tap.
And Carmella may have to go see a doctor for her teeth, just not Britt Baker.
That's right. And that's what at least what I got out of that promo. It's like, go see a different dentist because I'm the one who caused this. But in any case, pretty much the second the pin takes place, outruns Adam Cole, and he goes down and he's happier than fish finding worms, I guess.
Oh my God, where the hell were you going with that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway,
just say a cat on catnip or something.
Happier than the Walmart smile. How about that? Which is way happier.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Happier than any emoji you can put on your Facebook account. Anyway, this is going way off the rails. Adam Cole goes in. He's chipper. And out walks Roderick Strong, who walks down, and Adam Cole's obviously celebrating with Britt, and Britt's happy that she won, and Roderick comes into the ring, and Cole's like, come on, man. don't be like this. And Roderick comes in and he walks over and he gives Britt a hug. And, you know, there's a big celebration. Britt gets this win. It's a nice, happy moment. And then the Briscoes attack.
Because of course they do.
And during this whole shenanigans, as they did, the Briscoes attack these guys. And as a result, Britt twists her ankle pretty hard. And she's selling it bad. And she immediately goes out of the ring. And she's like on the side. And she's like screaming in pain. Like screaming in pain as the Briscoes are taking down Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. And there's now a referee out there who's not the referee officiating this match, but there's a referee out there who's now tending to her and seeing how she's doing, right? How, you know, what's going on. And you see more of the action pinned on the Briscoes attacking Adam. You know, Adam Cole then eventually gets to the outside and it starts to be a double attack on Strong, and the match begins and they immediately have the ring cut off and the Briscoes are on top. Now, while this is happening, the referee, you see this right in the corner of the screen. It's subtle, but you see the referee put up the X.
That's not good.
And that's not good. And then very shortly thereafter, you see a couple medics come. And pretty much while this match is going on, Adam Cole is looking over there and Britt is communicating with these doctors, right? She's laying over there. But this is taking some time, you know, to get the medical teams out to really evaluate her, what's going on. You know, so she's there for pretty much a good chunk of this going down. This whole match and this whole thing is taking place over the course of 10 minutes, right? And you could tell that Cole, these are actual doctors now. You could see that they're not just a bunch of schlubs wearing like a bunch of polos. You know, these actually would be like, I would want actual like medical team in Baton Rouge there for this.
Right, not a fake doctor like Dr. Britt Baker.
Yeah, no, they're actually going in. I mean, she does have a dentist license, but in any case.
Sure, but she couldn't fix an injury that she just got. But still, that's disappointing for Britt Baker, especially because she just won a match. She should technically be in the semifinals.
Yeah, and Adam Cole is looking back, and he's like still trying to look back, and you can tell he's obviously distracted, but the heat's going on, you know, and the Briscoes are really trying to do it until Britt yells at Cole, and you can hear her scream, "Focus!" And Adam Cole turns around, and it's a good thing he did, because right as Britt said that, Cole turns around and he sees that Roderick Strong has just hit a huge flying double clothesline and is now going towards Adam Cole and reaching and clawing, and this is the moment they need. And so Adam Cole, he snaps back into focus, gets that hot tag, and it's on. And he's going for a big hot tag, boom, 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 and then here's the finish. Adam Cole is setting up for the last shot. Strong is on the outside, as is Jay Briscoe. Mark is down, so he's setting up for the last shot. He's getting ready there, and at that moment, he notices that on like a cart, they've actually lifted Britt Baker on a cart, and they're now wheeling her out of the building on the side, you know, like on the side of the ramp. You know, it's not even going up the ramp, it's on the side of the ramp. And Cole looks over for just a second, and he's a little worried, but he's, you know, you can see he kind of like taps his head, snaps himself back into place. And when he goes to snap himself back into place, he goes to hit the last shot. It was just the split-second difference. Mark Briscoe ducks it, pulls him up, hooks on a roll-up, pulls the tights. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Just wow.
And now, Adam Cole is sitting in the ring, and his head is in his hands. He's like, God, you gotta be kidding me. He's so upset, and you could see him distressed, and Roderick Strong gets in the ring, and the second that he does, Adam Cole jumps up, and you can see him mouth, "Roddy, listen," and the second that Cole gets close enough, Roderick Strong just shoves him to the ground, and just looks at him, shakes his head, and walks up the ramp.
I feel like Adam Cole is... I don't want to say anything, but he's that guy who centers his whole life around his girlfriend, and because of that, he's pissed off every other friend that he has. He's a girlfriend guy. It's borderline pathetic.
But at the same time, you got to feel for him, though, because it was just a second that he looked over, and then he immediately, you could tell he snapped himself back. He's like, no, I got to finish this match. But it was just that split-second lack of focus that cost them the match. And that was enough for Roderick Strong to I guess, end this relationship.
Yeah, at the same time, it makes the other members of Wrestling Finest not look good because they don't have Adam Cole's back, because he legitimately does love his wife.
Yeah.
It's not cool. It's not cool. You would think they would be supporting, considering they've been friends for so long.
Well, but, it goes to show that Fish and O'Reilly never had the intention of turning over a new leaf, as they mentioned on episode 1. That all seems to have come from Britt Baker, trying to get Adam Cole to go straight, and Adam Cole has gone straight, and everyone else has noticed that it's caused him to lose his edge. And
so, are you saying that he needs to get his edge back by RKOing Britt Baker before wrestling The Undertaker?
No, I do not. Britt Baker, who knows what Britt Baker's condition is going to be, or whether she will make it into the semifinals as a result. But we will find that out at a later date.
I just love the idea of Adam Cole pulling up Randy Orton 2005.
Oh my God, that'd be straight up ridiculous. I don't think I could do that with Adam Cole. But
no.
Where does Roddy go from here?
Where does Roddy go from here? We'll find out.
We definitely will. Well, now we move on, and we are now backstage once again. This time, we're with Tony Schiavone, who is with Brian Cage. And it goes, Brian, you've got a huge match tonight. It's your World Heavyweight Championship, the ACPW title on the line here tonight against Jeff Cobb, the man you lost that belt to 6 months ago, or 6 weeks ago, or however, 6 episodes ago. Whatever that translates to in my universe. How do you look to beat the man who has got Jim Cornette on his side? Nonetheless, we saw how successful it was earlier tonight in gaining victory. And Brian Cage says, every time that I've ever been challenged to push my limits, every time that I've been pushed to accelerate myself, energize myself with electricity, and lock and load and get the job done, I've done that in ACPW. And the only time I haven't is when Jim Cornette got in the way. And I will be damned before I have an operator, because I am the champion tonight. I will be the champion tonight because I'm not just a man. You're a machine. And in walks Paul Heyman.
Oh.
Brian Cage, the machine. I've been waiting a long time to talk to you. See, I've been prospecting myself here in Atlantic Coast Pro Wrestling, the greatest place for professional wrestling on the face of this earth. And I know the kind of machine you are. I've got a talent for finding people with really captivating, robust, powerful auras to them. Beasts, chiefs, machines. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? You don't want Jim Cornette to bother you tonight. I totally understand that. Allow me to even the odds. Brian Cage goes, I guess you don't listen very well, Paul, seeing how you must have been walking up from there while I was cutting this pretty large promo. But let me tell you something. I don't have an operator. I walk alone, and you'll be damn sure of that. And he tries to walk away, and Paul Heyman goes, are you sure about that, Brian? I just want to make sure you're making the decision tonight that's going to benefit you, that's going to win you championship gold. I've brought men to championship gold, and they've held it for a very, very long time. You can have that tonight. Why risk it going alone? And Brian Cage said, Paul, no disrespect, but when a walrus tries to interact with a machine doesn't like getting wet. And Paul Heyman, and Tony Schiavone goes, Paul, do you have anything to say tonight to in response to that? And Paul goes, nope, I don't. But it's funny, isn't it, Tony? The more things change, the more they stay the same.
We won't get fooled again.
Well, yeah!
By the way, I also deduct points from this promo because you did not say, I'll walk alone inside this pit of danger.
I know. I decided at that moment, I'm like, do I go that route or do I just leave it alone? And I just chose to leave it alone. Because we still have a lot of show to go through.
You gotta do the Batista thing.
I know.
Come on, man.
I know. Next time.
Especially because when you think about it, Brian Cage and Batista is very good comparables.
True. I would still say that Batista's the better worker of the two, but...
Well, obviously, because you have more experience.
But still...
But in terms of powerhouse hosses, who are not the greatest technical guys, but are just freaks in the ring.
Yeah. Well, and Paul Heyman's interest and just flat-out rejection, this time it wasn't even like, give me a week to think about it. It's like, no. Straight up no.
Well, I mean, Paul Heyman has a reputation. People know that if you work with Paul Heyman, you're going to get some good stuff, but you may also get some bad stuff too. Well,
let's move on to some good stuff, because this, I would imagine, as built as the rest of this show is, I would consider this probably going to be the match of the night. It is, or the sleeper match of the night, the one that steals the show. It is a best of 3 falls match between MJF and Shorty G. This match was brought about mostly because of just a random interaction between these two that has proven to be where Shorty G called MJF an amateur, and MJF did not take kindly to that. And of the showboating of Shorty G, they fought to a draw the last time they faced each other at the Melee in Montreal. And now, after hawking a big old loogie into MJF's face, Arn Anderson has said, that's enough. It's time you two sort this out the right way. Best of 3 falls. This whole thing takes 18 minutes. So, the first matchup of this 3 falls, and of course, should it come to 3 falls, match 1 goes 10 minutes. It's a big back and forth. They pretty much just have a straight up match, and the finish is the BTY pile driver, because I don't want to call it the Heat Seeker, because MJF isn't a heel. So I'm calling it the BTY, which stands for Better Than You pile driver for the time being. It's a working title.
People, figure out a good finisher name for MJF, please.
Yeah. So what it's got, it's a working title. It is right now the BTY. But he hits the BTY and he gets a pin. Straight up. Clean pin on Shorty G, and the crowd pops. Because nobody expected just a straight up pin. Especially not Shorty G, who then gets up.
Especially not Shorty G.
And he is shocked. And he's like, how? How is that? And he immediately charges MJF, but MJF is ready for him. And then what happens in this second match, this second part goes 6 minutes. And what happens is Shorty G lures MJF out. As he lures MJF out and the referee's counting, Shorty G gets an eye poke. This is why I say you're gonna recognize some of this, Skylar. He gets an eye poke, and that eye poke knocks MJF down, and he turns around for a second to kind of get his bearings as the referee's yelling at Shorty G, who sells a little bit. Then MJF goes to charge at Shorty G, who dodges and posts him right into the ring post head first, and MJF gets the juice.
I want to be clear that eye pokes are not a universal construct.
Oh no,
in
just
wrestling.
wait.
Everybody uses
Just wait. Hold on. This fall's not over. So then, Shorty G the ref goes to check on MJF, who is obviously bleeding, and it's pretty good. Shorty G gets into the ring and takes off the far corner turnbuckle pad.
Oh no.
Oh wait. And as that goes down, Shorty G goes to take MJF, brings him into the ring, goes for a cover, 1-2 kick out by MJF. Shorty G's kind of pissed because the post and the juice was not enough to do it. Then he goes up and he's about to Irish whip MJF, or he's going to take MJF's head and put it into the turnbuckle, but it's at that moment that the referee sees that turnbuckle is exposed and goes, no, whoa, no, hold the phone there, sir, and then goes to fix that turnbuckle. Well, Shorty G pushes MJF to the other corner and then goes to the opposite turnbuckle that the referee's on and takes that turnbuckle off, goes over, hits MJF in the head with it, knocks him down. The referee doesn't see it because he was busy with the first turnbuckle pad. Shorty G hits an inverted inverted Olympic slam, cover, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, now I hate you.
Little did I know.
You didn't pull the Eddie Guerrero spot.
No. I would not have done that with Shorty G. But it's funny you mentioned the turnbuckle pad, and I was holding my tongue back then, earlier in the show.
Great minds think alike, I guess.
That's right. It's a good angle. And the way that Shorty G just goes to the other turnbuckle on the other side, it's like, no, fuck you, I'm still going to do this spot. I don't give a damn. But
that's the thing, though, is that, folks, use variations in how you do stuff so that way it's different and it's not a repeat of something else.
That's right. Well, now, here's fall number 3. MJF has just taken a lot of punishment. He's busted open, and it looks like Shorty G is going to win this. This third segment only goes 2 to 3 minutes, because obviously the clock has got to be ticking at this point. So he goes in, and he's going to do it again. He's going to put his head into the turnbuckle, and the referee who starts to see that, but he's still kind of, he's up there. But before it happens, MJF gets the boot onto the turnbuckle, and you see him snap up, kind of like a Jerry Lawler quote-unquote Hulk up, where he just is like, oh, you done did it now. And he gets there, and he starts elbowing and starts putting the right hands to Shorty G, and he's all fired up. But then a knee to the gut by Shorty G. He goes to do an Irish whip that would put MJF into that exposed turnbuckle. MJF counters it, uses all of his strength, and Shorty G takes this spot where he takes the turnbuckle chest first, and it's like he hits hard chest first, and it's the exposed turnbuckle because it hadn't been fixed yet. So he goes chest first into the exposed turnbuckle, which is enough for MJF to get him up, hit another pile driver, 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Boo!
MJF wins with a reversal, but it was Shorty G's own dismantling of the turnbuckle that was his own undoing.
I mean, yes, it's good. The heel gets what he deserves, and MJF gets the victory, and that's all good. You want to know why I'm booing?
Because you wanted Shorty G to win?
No, because I'm going to use that spot in my next show, damn it.
Well, as you say, good minds think alike, sir.
God damn it! Now you stole 2 of the turnbuckles.
Well, you can't fault me for the second one. I got to it first.
Just like that first turnbuckle spot.
That's right. Well, oh well. It's on 2 different shows. Who doesn't love quality programming on 2 different shows? That makes sense.
So Joshua, you better not use a damn turnbuckle spot, because we'll know.
Not like that. Well, he keeps inviting us to those shows. We're going to know everything he's doing. But in any case, I still think that this match would probably be the match of the night because it's a babyface win. I have more for MJF going right now than I do for Shorty G, but Shorty G is such a great perennial mid-card heel that he doesn't really necessarily need to win these feuds all the time in order to still be important and feel important.
That's the job of the mid-card heel, is that you're not going to win all the time. Your goal is to get heat and get the babyface a nice victory so they can move on to something else later on.
And we did extend this feud through another 3 weeks of programming from Melee in Montreal to now. So this has been like a pretty long feud, and I think MJF at this point getting the win here, ending this feud, because this really, how much further can you go in a feud like this?
Exactly.
So,
like, Shorty G is doing for you what Sami Zayn does for me.
Right, exactly. That's exactly a good way to put it. And God bless them both, because this was a fun one to book. And I have to imagine that these two, especially with the experience that Gable has, this would have been a pretty great match.
Yes, even if he still has to wear the damn basketball shorts.
He gets to wear different kinds of basketball shorts now. At least it's different outfits. So,
yeah, I guess. Anyways, let's move on, shall we?
Yes, absolutely. We'll move on to a filler match so people can cool down off what we just witnessed. And that is Adam...
No, you should put on a big, heavy match after another big, heavy match. That way you can go back to back and not just tire out your audience. Oh, wait, who am I thinking of?
Well, this audience is going to be pretty tired after the last 4 matches, so we need to give them something of a break. And the break here is Adam Page versus Darby Allin.
Oh, geez, I wonder who's going to win.
It's a 4-minute break. It's a 4-minute break with a buckshot to win.
Yeah.
But it's
Makes
enough
sense.
for people to pee. And
Yeah.
it gives Adam Page
Or
a win.
go number 2.
That's right. Whatever you got to do. Well, 4 minutes is not a ton of time, but we'll also put in filler for next month.
I mean, you got entrances, you got other stuff going
Yeah.
on. You can get it.
You fill up that time real quick. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're moving right along because we got 4 matches left. It is now Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes and Katie Shakily Dakely Forbes. Now, this match is actually not going to have Katie Shakily Dakely get involved. And there's a reason why. Because before I give you this finish, I was trying to think of what's the most scumbaggish way to end this match. Because this feud is going to continue. You know, I don't think that's a spoiler for anybody. And
Have you got your answer?
well, I do. I think I do.
Let's see what you got, boy.
So this match goes 13 minutes, and it's, for what it's worth, this is very much a cat and mouse style match. Cody doesn't want to fight Dustin. So Cody's trying to leave the ring and get at people, get in the way of people and duck, he's really ducking Dustin. So Dustin's having a real hard time getting shots in on him. And it goes on like that for a pretty decent time until Dustin finally gets something of a comeback going. But then Cody shoots Dustin into the referee, who falls to a knee, but he doesn't get knocked out. Like, he's okay. He's just on his knee. And he's on,
Okay.
like, he's kind of in the middle of what, on the side. And he's in the middle, and he's down to one knee, and he sees someone, but he's still all right. It wasn't amazing, because Dustin tried to stop, 2/3 of the way. And it was that. But here's what happens. Dustin turns around, and Dustin goes to strike Cody with a right hand, and Cody... You see it from the angle. Dustin doesn't hit Cody, but Cody jumps backwards up and over the top rope. And as Dustin goes to, he's going to go to follow him, and he goes through the ropes, and he goes down, and then he hears the bell ring. And he goes, wait, what? And because where the referee was positioned, when Cody jumped up and over the top rope, and the way that Dustin's fist was coming over the right side, it looked like Dustin had clocked Cody in the face and sent Cody over the top rope and fall to the floor, even though Cody had just done that as an act. Therefore, it is an over the top rope disqualification on Dustin. Cody wins.
You didn't. You did.
What is the most
my
scumbaggish
goodness.
way to end this match to keep this feud going? That.
Because you haven't had people be disqualified like that before.
Only a few times. Only a few times. And up to this point, I'm assuming that everyone is adhering to the rules of that you don't go over the top rope or it's a disqualification.
Right, and that's why in your show, people don't take chances and go to the top rope because you don't want to take that chance.
That's right. But Cody using the manipulation of where the referee was to angle himself to where it looked like he got hit, but he never did get hit, but cost Dustin the match nonetheless and still escape like a whiny chicken shit. That's what I'm going for.
It's such a Cody move. I have to give it to you. You used the great disqualification.
Yeah, and Dustin is obviously pissed, and he's trying to explain to the referee, and, obviously they get the angle on it, and the ref's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do, the match is over, Cody's long gone. He booked it. He and Katie were out of there. And also, just to add to the scumbagishness of this, there's obviously times when Cody's going to hide behind Katie, and Dustin's going to be like, come on, dude. There's going to be imagine what Cody would do in this situation.
Like, imagine Cody ducks out of the ring, Katie Forbes gets on the ring apron just to shake her ass, just to mock Dustin.
Yeah, no, then to win the match, because Cody actually won the match doing that. Right,
exactly. It's such a Cody Rhodes move. I can see him do it in real life as a heel.
Yeah, and that would kind of be where, again, ring smarts. But this is another interesting thing. This is a ref bump that doesn't knock the referee out.
Right, because ref bumps knocking every referee out would get repetitive.
Yes, that's
absolutely. Why I was going to do one for my show, but no, I've done ref bumps before.
Yeah.
I want to do something different.
Yeah, I was trying to get a little more clever in that respect, because I feel like ref bumps are an easy way. Ask Jeff Jarrett from 2003 to 2006. Ref bump, guitar, pin, rinse, repeat.
Rinse, repeat.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
If it ain't broke, don't change it.
That's right. Well, and then they had to change it. But speaking of changes, we got ourselves a big match up next.
Changes.
It is Randy Orton versus Titus O'Neil.
Oh, boy.
And for those of you who hadn't been paying attention, Titus O'Neil at the Melee in Montreal was tarred and feathered by Randy Orton after a main event match with Jeff Cobb, which he was not successful in winning because of the influence of the exterior. And so, that was what was going down. And as a result, they have gotten to the point where Titus needs some revenge.
They're going to have this match.
That's right.
And there is a lot of bad blood between Titus O'Neil and Randy Orton.
Yeah, and this one is going to go 7 minutes. It's actually pretty fast, all things considered, because we just had that big Cody and Dustin thing. 7 minutes, Orton just gets walloped. I mean, Titus O'Neil, he's going big, and Orton's getting his ass kicked. And then, of course, he gets a little bit of heat. Cornette tries to get on the apron, and Titus O'Neil kind of shoves him away, but that's enough for Orton to try to get an RKO. Or he does hit an RKO. But instead of going for the pin, he goes for the punt. And when he goes for the punt, Titus O'Neil gets up, pushes him to the ropes, gets a clash of the Titus. 1, 2, 3.
You're giving Titus O'Neil the victory over Randy Orton?
Titus O'Neil got his revenge on Randy Orton. But then he looks at Jim Cornette, and he does the look at you, look at me, look at you, and then he slowly motions for that belt. And he says he's coming. And he's looking at Cornette, and Cornette is looking afraid. And that's how that's going to end.
It's amazing how you take Titus O'Neil and made him a main eventer in your company.
Hide the weaknesses, capitalize your strengths.
It's such a simple thing.
Yeah. And Titus, he always had the look of this. And he obviously always had the personality for it. It's it's just, I feel like at this point, Randy doesn't need this win.
No, plus, in order for anyone to get a title shot against Jeff Cobb, you need to beat Randy Orton.
Yeah.
He is the perfect gatekeeper.
And Brian Cage actually did it just recently. And we'll get to that. So Titus O'Neil beats Randy Orton decisively. That's a pretty big deal. I think the crowd's going to be real hot for that. That's a good babyface feeling for this show. Good for Titus.
Especially picking up the crowd after they lost. They saw Cody Rhodes cheat the win.
Yeah. Well, We got 2 more matches, folks. We got 2 more matches. We are almost there. It is now title match time. It is the ACPW Tag Team Championships. It is the Hardys taking on Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, Redragon.
Woo!
This is going to be a barn burner. Now, this match, take a guess how long this match, this has an hour-long time limit. How long do you think this match is going to go?
30 minutes.
Close. 25.
Okay.
It's going to go 25, and this is going to be another ACPW first. I'm going to do 2 sets of heat, which I normally don't like to do, but there's a reason. There's specifically a reason for this. So the first off is Matt, the Hardys do their shining, and then Matt gets taken down and goes to get Jeff to do a hot tag, and Jeff hits the hot tag and he hits a bunch of his big moves, and then finally they reattain advantage with some sort of heat spot, which I didn't put out generally, but anyway, but Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they get ready, they get there, and as Kyle O'Reilly is going to set up for the guillotine for Jeff, Bobby Fish comes in, and as the referee is, before this goes on, there's a big whisper in the wind from Jeff, and it looks like he's going to be able to tag Matt in, right? And we're going for the second hot tag. It's going to be big. He's getting close. Bobby Fish comes in to interfere. The referee is busy with Bobby Fish, and all you see is a hand grab the ankle of Matt Hardy, pull it down, wham! Steel chair to the dome, protected, of course. And down goes Matt Hardy, and the camera only sees the chair. And as the chair slowly gets pulled down, it's Roderick Strong.
Figures.
And Roderick Strong, with a big-ass grin on his face, puts down the chair. And, of course, Jeff Hardy sees this, but Matt's obviously out of the equation. O'Reilly goes and hammers down Jeff's head, and then he puts in his guillotine, and Jeff passes out. Redragon are your new ACPW Tag Team Champions.
Oh, boy.
And Roderick Strong is a part of wrestling's finest.
Yep, but no longer the good wrestling's finest, but the bad guy wrestling finest.
That's right. That's right. So this is a definitely interesting route that this takes. And the Hardys didn't hold those belts for too long, did they?
Which they're not going to. At this point with the Hardys, they're there to be guys who are going to do well, but they're going to put over talent.
Exactly. But they, with the story that they had to get to that championship win, that was enough. They don't need a reign at this point in their career. They don't. They don't need a run.
Okay.
So as a result, that's why I feel like it's more important for Redragon to get this win and get this belt, because there's even though they're like the same age, but at this point, for their value that they have on a more national television stage, this is what's necessary for Redragon. And this is what's necessary for the Hardys too. And Roderick Strong is still being pretty prominently featured, but back with the boys instead of with Adam Cole.
Right. Plus, it's also one of those things where it's like, even though they are the same age, they're still in tremendous shape.
Yeah.
As much as I love Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, they're not the wrestlers they are.
No, and that's no knock on them. It's just they've been through a lot.
Father Time is undefeated.
That's right. And so, but that's that. We have new champions here, and we've got another title match to go. And it's your main event. It is Jeff Cobb, the ACPW Heavyweight Champion, with Jim Cornette taking on Brian Cage.
Oh, boy.
This match goes 8 minutes.
Doesn't need to be a long main event, does it?
It does not. I mean, they just went through a 25-minute slog of Hardys and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly with Roddy. That's going to be, let's use the last year energy on this main event tonight and then go home and talk about how great the show was.
Right. Plus, it's one of those things where if you go with long match after long match, you're going to not just burn out your audience. You're going to kill it.
Well, there's a reason that there's only 4 matches of 11 that have been longer than 10 minutes on this show.
Right. Plus, the other thing, too, is that these two guys, they don't need a long match. They can do perfectly fine with a shorter one.
Exactly. It probably benefits them the shorter this match goes, in fact. And
Well, let's hear this match. What do you do?
Here's the finish. Cage makes the, because Cobb's going to have the advantage. Obviously, Cobb's going to bump for Cage because he did the last time, so there's no reason that he wouldn't this time. Cage makes the comeback, thwarts Cornette, who probably goes to, get involved again, probably on the corner, but it's thwarted. He hits the discus. And this is crazy, the Cobb's looking down. He has never looked this in danger before of losing his title. They're going crazy. He's going to do it. Cage is going to do it. He hits the discus. He's got him. And the cover. And 1, 2. And the referee never gets his hand down for 3 because Paul Heyman has pulled the referee out of the ring and his head hit the barricade.
What?
And now Cage is looking at Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman is looking at Brian Cage, and Paul Heyman just smiles and points backward. And Brian Cage turns around, and there is a beast standing before him.
No.
Brock Lesnar hits an F5 on Brian Cage. Cage is down. Lesnar leaves the ring. There's a quick look as Cornette comes to because he got knocked off the apron. He looks at Paul. He looks at Lesnar. He's so confused. Brock looks at JC, and as does Heyman, and then Brock takes Heyman and like a child, lifts him up and over the barricade as he was dressed in like the security guard's outfit is Brock Lesnar. So that's how they showed that he got into the ring because he was like in a security guard, one of the guys who enforces those spots, and his face is to the audience, except he would obviously be like hooded or something like that. And then they show that's how they actually got Heyman into that area as well. Because Paul came around and that guy just hoisted him over, then lifted up the hoodie, and then it was Brock Lesnar. And they do the same kind of hoist and dip, and they both exit. As Jeff Cobb looks up, looks around, sees Brian Cage down, puts one arm over him. The referee has come back into the ring, has come to 1, 2, 3. Jeff Cobb retains.
Oh, man. What a debut. And Paul Heyman, you could have had to know Brock Lesnar was going to show up.
At some point. I've been sitting on Brock for 8 months.
You've been sitting on Brock for 8 months. And all because I picked Otis Dozovic out of spite.
That's right. That's right. Be careful what you wish for. And especially in Jeff Cobb's case, but what a help it was. And Jeff Cobb and Cornette, they're confused, but then all of a sudden it hits them, hey, they won this thing. And finally, and Cornette jumps up and he's celebrating, and Cobb is celebrating, and they're holding their belts, but still confused, and they start to walk up the ramp, and as they walk up the ramp, and Cage has come to, and he just starts to realize what happened, and as he's starting to realize that, the screen goes black. ACPW, that is the MidSummer Showdown. Thank you very much, Baton Rouge. It's been a blast.
This is such an interesting show. Tremendous job, as always.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
There's a lot of exciting stuff your show is going to do, and I'm looking forward to all of it.
Yeah, there's definitely more to come from here. There's a lot of stuff I kept going, but there's also a lot of stuff I finished. And there's a women's tournament all on top of this that we're going to see the end of the quarterfinals next week, and then the week following that, which will be in our calendar, September, and then October, you see the semifinals, and then there'll be a face-to-face confrontation in November, and then December, of course, is the match.
Alrighty, I'm looking forward to this. Brock Lesnar versus Brian Cage. That is speaking of Haas matches, that's a Haas match.
Yeah. And now, who does Jeff Cobb face?
Well, as Jim Cornette says, it doesn't matter who he faces. He'll dominate them.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the word from the cult of Cornette is going to be. Especially because Randy Orton got his ass handed to him. FTR and Jeff Cobb gaining the wins.
And we shall see what happens.
We will.
But only if you like, share, and subscribe that button
That's
to the Court
right.
Martial podcast.
That's right.
Use whatever finisher you want to do to that subscribe button. Use whatever finisher you need to use on that like button.
And
just
the bell
share
button.
with your grins.
And the bell button. Don't forget the bell button. You got to switch that to all. So every time we drop an upload, you guys will know what's going on, especially when we do our live stream Monday night, 8 o'clock. Be there. We're going to have ourselves a great time. Our SummerSlam review. Skylar, thank you so much for, of course, giving us the NWL. We have got so much more to go, and I'm so excited where both of our shows are heading.
Yes, we are. And we're going to talk about weirdness. We're going to see a good pay-per-view, hopefully, from SummerSlam.
Well, it's a good enough card, but we'll see how their execution goes.
As always.
That's right. And until then, folks, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you right after this short commercial break.